The law of attraction states that like equals like. So in order for you to experience the dream reality that you are wanting, you need to become a vibrational match to that dream reality. But society teaches us that we need to see things in order to believe them, and that we need to be realistic, whatever the fuck that means, on a floating rock in the middle of space. But actually, no. If you really want to live the life of your dreams, you need to be delusional, because you need to step into the role, the person that already has that thing, before you actually experience it. You need to have the thoughts, the mindset, the actions, the habits of that person. Joe Dispenza states that your personality makes up your personal reality. So if you want your personal reality to change, you need to change your personality. And this is hard for a lot of people, because some people stay stuck in one personality for like 10 plus 20 years, their whole entire lives even. Like, we're taught to go through a certain timeline and experience the same things day in and day out. I don't know about y'all, but to me, that is so miserable. That's a miserable existence. I would rather, before I ever subscribe to that kind of lifestyle. And if you're here, I know that you don't want to subscribe to that lifestyle either. So you got to have some sort of delusion. You got to be able to step outside of the box that society has put you in and start going on the other path, going on the road less traveled, because that is what is required of you. And yes, you may be called crazy. Yes, people may not understand you. But then again, it's either, do you want to give in to society? Do you want to start listening to people and listening to their judgments and what they have to say about you? Or do you want to have everything that you've ever dreamed of? Do you want to follow your passions? Do you want to express your God-given gifts and talents and get paid to do it? Do you want to get paid to exist? Do you want to step into your power? It requires delusion. You're going to have to be delusional. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to be delusional. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Shira Divine, and I am here to help you step into your power as a co-creator with the universe. I am here to help you reclaim what you have lost through the conditioning of society. I'm here to help you understand manifestation and easy to apply steps. So if that seems like something that you'd be interested in, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bells, because I will be posting on here a lot more, since TikTok has the potential of getting banned. So I'm going to be coming over to YouTube University, so that way you guys can have long form content and I can actually build an audience. I can get to know y'all one-on-one, and I can actually build a personal community and connection versus TikTok's algorithm. That's a whole different story. But yeah, I posted a TikTok video a while back, and this is actually the reason why I'm making this video, is because I was talking about how delusion has paved the way for me. Delusion pays my bills, because I was homeless back in May of 2023. Actually, no, March of 2023. I was homeless. I was 17 years old. I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no family. I was now living in a shelter, and I actually did not want to work a 9-to-5. And throughout my journey, I was always creating content. I actually started on YouTube first, and then I went to TikTok because it was just way easier for me to navigate. YouTube is hard. YouTube can be hard. My videos, like, if you go look at like my very first videos, they are so shitty, and I think TikTok really just gave me the platform to learn how to edit short form videos, learn how to talk more, learn how to build my audience, community, all that stuff. Besides the point, I was doing that while I was in this homeless shelter, and I decided to take a leap of faith, quit my job in October of 2023, and I said, you know what? I told the staff members, I said, I'm just gonna make this work. I don't know how, but I'm gonna have rent for y'all every month. And they were like, we don't know how you gonna do it either, but make sure you got that rent every month. And it wasn't actually rent going to them, it was actually rent going to my savings. So it was actually necessary in order for me to like give them rent so I can, you know, afford to get on my own in my own apartment. And actually that led me to being on the Dr. Phil show. I did not seek Dr. Phil out. This was just because I was posting content very regularly, and Dr. Phil's producers came on my channel. They saw my video and they said, hey, we want to have you on the show. It was actually talking about the difference between different generations' work ethics, and I was the only person going on there talking about law of attraction and manifestation. It didn't work well, at least in my personal opinion. I feel like I didn't get to express myself as much as I wanted to, or as much as I could have, because I was scared shitless. I've literally never been on TV before. So I was shitting bricks. I was shaking like on stage. I was literally like, hyperventilating. You couldn't see it in my face, but I was freaking out internally. And so my whole thought processes was completely gone. I forgot everything that I was going to say. So I just was kind of babbling, and they ate me up. The audience was laughing. The opposite side of the panel was like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? And honestly, it just made me doubtful for a while. It made me feel like, dang, maybe manifestation isn't real. Like, dang, maybe I'm not supposed to do this, which I'm going to get into that later, because you need to be able to be your number one supporter. Because a lot of people, especially when you're being delusional, especially when you're going outside of society's norms, like I said at the beginning of the video, you're going to be called crazy. You're going to be misunderstood. It can be a very isolating journey at first, because your 3D reality is full of people who had the same thought processes as you. So when you're like stepping out of that, then it's kind of like, damn, like I don't resonate with my friends anymore. Like, damn, like it's kind of hard to find my community. And that's why I really resonated with like books and listening to different YouTube videos and really just building my community online. But nonetheless, back to what I was saying, that was like a learning experience for me. That's when I really realized that like I need to be my number one supporter of my dreams, because what homeless person, that's proof in manifestation in itself, because what fucking homeless person gets to go on the Dr. Phil show? And then shortly after that, I got my own apartment and my own car. I got my car. I didn't even have to end up paying for it, because it just so happened that I got access to resources that I thought I didn't get access to before. When I was living with a relative before she kicked me out, my caseworker was talking to me about all of these resources that I could get because I was in child protective services. And she had told me initially that it would be hard for me to get these resources, and then she stopped being my caseworker. So I thought that I just didn't have access to any of this. And so when I moved into this homeless shelter and I started going to a community college, a certain program reached out to me within the college, and they were like, hey, like I just want to let you know, because you were in foster care, you get access to all these resources, and that included a $5,000 car voucher. So that's just one example of how manifestation can work for you. It doesn't matter what avenue it comes through. It can come in so many ways. Like I thought that was completely closed off to me. I wasn't expecting that at all. It was just a resource that I got from previous trauma. So I was like, paid off. And I ended up going through the process, which can be a long, drawn out process, but I ended up sticking to it. I stayed committed, and I got that $5,000 car voucher. And then also like along like me getting the car voucher, there were barriers within the system that were kind of like preventing me from actually getting that car voucher. And my thought process was, no, I'm getting this car. I wanted to do anything and everything I could to get this car. In my mind, I already had this car. I was visualizing myself driving. I even took myself to certain auto shops and test drove cars. That's how serious I was about getting this manifestation. And it just so happened that one of the ladies that I volunteered with loaned me the $5,000 so that I could, because the whole process with the state was like, it's a voucher. So like the auto shop, they worked with certain auto shops that had to like wait for the check for the state to give them the check. No auto car shop is going to hold a car for you while they receive a check from the state that could take weeks or months. So the lady loaned me the $5,000 up front, and then I was able to pay the car. I got the car off of somebody who was selling it because he just so happened to be moving internationally, and it just so happened to be right across the street from the place that I volunteer at. And so it ended up being in perfect condition, nothing wrong with it. I got it for $4,500, and I gave her the money back, and it ended up working like that. That is just a testimony in itself, how things can work out for you if your mind can perceive it, if you believe that anything is possible. It is all mindset. Everything in this material world is purely mental. And then after that, shortly after I got my car, after a couple months, it was time for me to start looking at places, because I had maybe like 6 or 7 months to kind of get my shit together and figure out where I was going to live. And I was extremely scared, because I was like, I still don't have like a reliable source of income. Like I still don't like have any of that established. Like I did not know how I was going to get an apartment, because you needed like 3 times the rent, you needed proof of income. I had none of that. I was trying to start my business. I was still creating content, still hadn't monetized my platforms. And so it was looking kind of rough. It was looking really rough. And I was scrolling through apartments. Me and my case manager were looking at apartments, and we found one that had a deal of like $700 a month. $700 a month. And it's a nice apartment. Like, I have a really nice 1-bedroom apartment. Everything works perfectly fine. I toured it. I loved the place. It was just nice, simple, cutesy and demure. I didn't need nothing classy or bougie. And they were offering a $700 move-in special. They didn't ask for no proof of income. They didn't ask for pay stubs, none of that, and they would accept my student refunds from college as a proof of income. And if you're in Michigan and you're experiencing any type of homelessness, or if you have like any housing instability, Ozone House is the place to go. Best place in Washtenaw County, like seriously. So because I lived at Ozone House, they did not ask me for any like proof of income or like pay stubs, any of that. And so I got into the apartment, and Ozone helped me pay most of the stuff, like my DTE bill. Like, Ozone helped me pay a pretty significant amount of rent, and then I had the rest of the years of my portion of rent saved up, so I had another year of free living. That's how things can work out for you. And for those of you who are gonna say, well, oh, like you were homeless, you get benefits from taxpayers, like, oh, you get First of all, would you rather me be on the streets? And even if you were on the streets, you could still have the same level of opportunity. You just need to be able to perceive it. There are people that come in the Ozone House program and they don't have any type of success. They don't have those type of things available to them because they can't perceive it, because they're so stuck in a certain mindset, because they're so like such in lack and limitation. It's all beliefs. The fact that I even got into the Ozone House program is like manifestation in itself. Before that, I was hotel hopping. I had no idea where I was gonna live. I was working as a server. I had to basically spend all of my money on hotels and Ubers. And it just so happened that the friend that was helping me get into hotels, because she actually just so happened to work at hotels, she, like, her mom was like, well, why don't you check out Ozone House? And so we called them, and I was telling them my story, and they were like, well, we're just gonna put you on the wait list. And then the person who ended up kicking me out called CPS on me, and that's when CPS was like, you're 17 years old, you can't stay by yourself, you need somewhere to go. And so I told her about Ozone House, and then the CPS worker called Ozone House and got me in there on emergency placement when the wait list was completely and entirely booked and full. Manifestation. That is manifestation. And it was purely because during this time, I was already a spiritual person. Like, back in 2020, that's when I really started digging heavily into my spirituality, like my spiritual journey. But before that, I was always highly spiritual. I was always the person to see right through the bullshit. This is not saying that I'm special in any way. It's just the fact that, like, I'm here to break generational curses. I'm here to do something different outside of the norm. I'm here to teach people. I'm here to guide people. And I had to go through a lot of shitty situations, but at the end of the day, life has always supported me. Like, even though I had to go through some like dark and terrible times, even though I had to go through the worst trials and tribulations, my life did not look all sunshine and rainbows all the time. Life didn't always work out for me. But in retrospect, when I'm looking on my life now and how things have played out, I realize that it couldn't have happened any other way. I realize that I am so beyond blessed. Even through the adversity, I'm blessed. And the fact that I can even perceive that, the fact that I was gifted wisdom, and not even just wisdom, because this wisdom is out there for everybody. Like, I'm not saying that I just have some special access to knowledge that other people don't. It's the ability to be a seeker of knowledge and a applier of knowledge, confirmation. I can seek knowledge and apply it in my life and then teach others. That is a gift that I have, is to be able to comprehend and digest knowledge in a way that I can teach that to other people. And so slowly but surely throughout life, especially in 2020, when I started researching these concepts, my mindset on life and my perspectives have like slowly been shifting. And that is why things have been working out for me. Because even though I was facing adversity, even though I was in one of my darkest moments in life, I still had faith that things would work out. I still trusted God. I said, you know what? I'm not going to be a victim to my circumstances. I'm going to be like, what can I learn from this? How can I learn from my situation? How can I take what I have and make the best of it? And that's what you need to do. If you're facing any situation, if you're going through any adversity, if you're going through any trial and tribulation right now, and you're like, how the fuck am I going to get out of this? Like, I'm maybe one paycheck away from being homeless, or I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, especially like financially, or maybe you're just going through some really dark shit right now in life. Know that you have the power to switch your situation around. You are so powerful, like beyond measure. You have source within you. You have infinite intelligence within you. So there is nothing that you can't do. There is nothing that you can't overcome. And I think one of the biggest lies in society, one of the biggest lies that has ever been told to us was the fact that we need to be victim to our circumstances, that we don't have control over what happens to us. I had to realize, I really had to wake up to my own BS sometimes and realize that I'm the creator of my reality. Some of those situations I contributed to because of my mindset. My mindset was such in a lack and limiting place. Like, my mindset was just not in a space to receive abundance. Maybe that's probably why. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I got that's another confirmation. But that's probably why I didn't receive the blessings that I had when I moved out of my place, because I was in like such a shitty mindset. I was not in the place to receive it. Because those, like, the resources were always there. The stuff from CPS I could have gotten when I was living with a relative, but I didn't because I wasn't in the right mindset. I was so in survival mode. I had a lot of trauma and a lot of barriers that I had to work through. So that's why it wasn't accessible to me. Like, I felt like I couldn't get it, and there would have been so many more barriers if I tried to pursue it. But now I was in a different mindset. I was in a different space. The opportunities were available to me. Suddenly, the thing that I couldn't get before, now it's here, but with a fresh new perspective. So a lot of times the resources are already there. You just need to shift your perspective. You need to shift your perspective and start to see them, start to seek them out, because you'll just be walking around one day. That's how manifestation works. Like, you'll just be walking around one day and then you'll see something that's always been there, and then you'll be like, oh, I could turn this into a multi-million-dollar business. Or, oh, you could take a shower and be like, oh, I just got this idea. Stuff that has always been there will automatically be used as a resource and as a tool for your growth if you perceive it that way. Like, if you look at life as full of opportunities, full of abundance, that will be made available to you. So I'm gonna stop yapping and I'm gonna actually get into, like, this is a long introduction, but I just wanted to tell you my story, some of my successes with manifestation, and how I kind of learned about these concepts and have been able to, like, apply them and actually have success in my life, because things have worked out for me and things will continue to work out for me because I have the mindset and the belief that I can. I have changed so much as a person. Even if you, like, sorry, my hair is like really bothering me right now. Like, even if you go and look at my videos that I've posted 2 years ago, completely different person, even just in my mannerisms, even in the way that I talk. I don't talk nearly as the same as I did 2 years ago. I'm a completely different person. Like, I've grown and changed so much, and with that, I'm not having a good hair day today, sorry. But just even with my perspectives, I have changed and shifted so much, and that is the beauty of life. Life is for evolution. Life is for growth. And that's why I will also never understand the fucking lies that society tries to give us. Like, you're telling me that I'm born to go to school, go to college, get a job, work somewhere for 30 plus years, and then die? Where's the growth in that? Where's the evolution? Like, that's how society likes to keep us stuck and stagnant. That's how they like to keep us controlled, because we're powerless that way. When we're not growing, when we're not really doing what our spirit calls us to do, when we're not expressing our creativity, we're powerless. When we're giving into fear, lack, and scarcity, we're powerless. Like, it doesn't matter what goes on in your external reality. As soon as you believe something and as soon as you give your power to it, as soon as you feel that emotion and you start actually feeling the thing, like fear or any like negative emotion on a consistent basis, you're controlled. Like, you're programmed by society. Anything that anybody can say, like, outside of you has the power to control you. That's giving away your power. Every time you're giving your emotions away, every time you're, like, you know, doing something out of fear, that's giving your power to external circumstances. And external circumstances are only a reflection of you. So stop giving your power to the 3D world. Anyways, this is how you are going to be delusional. This is how you are going to manifest literally anything that you want. This is the proven technique that I've used time and time again to get anything that I want. You can become a master manifester. It is not hard. You don't have to do any 3-6-9 method. This is just purely internal work. And I'm gonna let you know right now, it does take some time because, like I said before, you have been conditioned, you have been programmed for so long to think and believe in a certain way. So when you're changing your personality, you need to give yourself grace because it's not going to happen overnight. But what I will tell you is that along the journey, this is why you need to enjoy the journey, because along the journey, you'll start getting signs, you'll start getting synchronicities, your relationship with the universe will develop, you will become closer with God, your creator, you'll start developing your creative abilities, your psychic abilities, and you'll start actually seeing the world for what it is. You will see past the illusion. And just from that alone, your life will look completely different. Your manifestations might not, like the exact manifestation might not come, but your life will start to get better. Your life will start to change. Things will change around you because the way that you're seeing things are changing. So the people that you encounter will change. The situations that you encounter will change. So this is why you really need to give yourself grace, because although, like, yes, it's going to take some time to develop a new personality, but along the way, you're going to meet people, situations, and circumstances that will be tools for your growth. And that leads me to the very first step. Actually, that landed on 222. Just wanted to let you know that. The very first step is self-awareness. You need to know who you are inside and out. You need to be able to understand and gauge where you're at on a vibrational level. And I'm going to insert a emotions chart right here so you can see which emotions are operating on which frequency. So down at the bottom is going to be the lack, the fear, the guilt, the shame, all of these low vibrational emotions. Now, I don't want you to get it twisted. These emotions aren't bad. It's only when we hold on to them and we let it become a part of who we are, that's when it becomes detrimental to our growth. Because these emotions are good. Like, if you actually allow yourself to feel them, this is not me saying that you need to suppress your emotions. I want you to feel your emotions. I just don't want you to stay in that and develop a personality around those emotions. So let's say you go throughout life, like you had like a traumatic life experience that has taught you to be like really angry at the world. And so you develop a whole personality around being angry. And so every situation that you encounter, you're just always angry. Like somebody's always making you mad. And underneath that, underneath the surface, it's really just your wounded inner child because you had a very traumatic experience growing up. And so now you were taught to view the world through an angry, negative lens. So that's what I mean by don't develop a personality around those negative emotions. You want to feel them, like allow them in. Don't suppress them. Don't shove them away. Allow yourself to feel them, but understand that these emotions are on a lower vibrational frequency that attracts lower vibrational experiences. Now, at the top of the vibrational chart is love, gratitude, joy, happiness. All of these things are immediately going to put you not only in a better mood, but in a better position to be at the right place at the right time to receive miracles and blessings. And I want you to understand also that miracles and blessings aren't just a one-time thing. Miracles are all over. Miracles can happen every single day, and they literally do. You just have to become like perceiving of them. Like you have to perceive the miracles. You have to be the type of person who has miracles on a day-to-day basis. So when you can get your vibration from a lower frequency to a higher frequency of joy, love, and peace, abundance, that's when your life will start to change because you're feeling differently. The universe does not respond to language like I'm talking to you now. The universe responds to frequency. That is where the delusion comes in. You need to be able to be delusional in your frequency. So regardless if you're homeless or regardless if you're having a shitty financial situation or maybe like something that you can't get out of, if you feel differently, if your mind is somewhere else and if your nervous system is somewhere else, eventually you're going to experience something else. That's seriously just how it works. And you want to be able to be, this is why self-awareness is so important, and this is the very first step into manifesting anything, because in order for you to gauge where you're at on a vibrational level, you need to be in tune with how you're feeling on a day-to-day basis. You need to be in tune with the thoughts that are triggering negative emotions. So what I used to do is I used to carry, like I have my journal right here. I used to carry around a journal, and I recommend you do this even on a daily basis. Carry around a journal with you, or even in your notes phone, like in your phone notes. Write down thoughts that trigger emotions. So when you're going throughout your day and you notice like a thought coming up, so this could be like, nobody likes me, and it triggers this feeling of like sadness, or it triggers a feeling of like anger, you're going to get your phone out and write down the thought and write down the emotion associated with the thought. And you're just going to do this like for a couple days. You're just going to notice, like, be the observer of your thoughts. That's what you are. You're not even this human vessel. You're not your mind. You're not your thoughts. You are simply the observer of this human experience. This human vessel is not me. This is just a way for me to experience this 3D world. I am a soul. My soul is carefully placed in here. And the identification with the body and the mind is the ego. Ego's not bad. Ego is what is allowing us to go through this process, right? Ego is what is allowing us to develop a personality so we can attract our dream lives. But when it's not working in your favor, that's when it becomes detrimental to your growth. So you want to be able to observe these emotions and observe what's going on inside of you. You want to be able to know yourself inside and out and know exactly where you're at, because these thoughts carry an energetic frequency. That low vibrational thought carries a frequency, and that emotion that came up is what is attracting, like, that's what's attracting stuff into your life. So you could have the thought of like, nobody likes me, and then you write that down, and then you realize that certain people are treating you a certain way, or maybe you attract shitty relationships or shitty friendships where people aren't loyal to you, and whole time it's because you believe that no one likes you. And so your reality has no choice but to show that to you through people mistreating you, through people leaving you or abandoning you. That's how it works, you guys. Like, that's the limiting belief that you have. And so that's what your experience is. I'll give you a personal example. One of my limiting beliefs is, I don't deserve this. I'm not worthy of it. I don't believe in myself. And so I found myself searching for external validation in others, and I could never find it. Like, every time I'd go to someone to validate my ideas, it would get shut down, or like they wouldn't really be like excited for me, or just I wouldn't get the response that I wanted. And I was so heartbroken, and I was like, dang, like, these are the people that are supposed to love me. Like, these are the people that I wanted to support me, and they're just not showing up for me in the way that I wanted them to. And I would just get really frustrated with that. And I would be like, why am I just not, why am I not attracting people that are reciprocating the same energy? Like, every time they have something going on, I'm super excited for them, but it just seemed like the energy wasn't being reciprocated. And through reflection and through self-awareness, I was like, holy shit. People aren't believing in me. People don't validate my ideas or believe in me because I don't believe in myself. And that was huge for me, because then I was able to really start noticing when I was doing it, start noticing when I was craving that external validation, and start noticing like how I felt when I didn't get a reaction that I wanted. And I was able to shift my perspective immediately and be like, I don't need anybody's validation. I don't need anyone to believe in me because I believe in myself. And that's when I started saying affirmation. That'll be in the next step. But yes, self-awareness. So you want to get a journal, and you want to start really digging deep and writing down and reflecting on any negative thoughts that come up. You want to do all of that. And even if it works, something else that I did was also like, damn, what else did I do? I literally forgot what I was going to say. It'll come back to me. Yeah, so writing all of these thoughts down will help you build a level of self-awareness, which is crucial in order for manifesting quite literally anything. And so the next step is, once you have like a certain idea of what thoughts you're thinking on a day-to-day basis, what actions you're taking, habits, like, you don't want to just be tracking your thoughts. You also want to be tracking like habits and actions that you're taking on a daily basis, and what beliefs or what thoughts are triggering those habits. And so once you have like all of that down, and you're gonna do this like self-awareness piece for like it's a lifetime thing. You always want to be self-aware, but you're gonna be carrying around your phone notes app, or you're gonna be writing these things down for at least a week, because you want to make sure that you know exactly where you're at on a vibrational level. You want to make sure, and like, you also want to link, sorry, things are just coming up in my head, and I hope this is all being like clear and concise for you. You also want to link these thoughts to experiences. So like I said, like, I had a thought that, or a belief that I don't believe in myself. I don't deserve things. And so I correlated that back to my personal experiences that I was having in my life. And once you do that, you'll kind of see like, holy shit, like my thoughts really do create my reality. And holy shit, like I really am creating these experiences, because you are the creator of your life, and you do have to sit there and take accountability for your own BS sometimes. You have to own up to your shit and be like, wow, like I've been complaining about this partner, but whole time it's really because I have this limiting belief that attracted them in the first place. So once you have that, you're going to start doing some shadow work, and you're going to do a self evaluation. So after you have all of that, and after you've really kind of gauged where you're at on a vibrational level, and you understand that maybe you're living in fear or lack, or maybe you keep bouncing between being in gratitude and love and joy, and then you go back down to fear, lack, and scarcity, and you'll know that once you start doing that, you're going to do a self-evaluation. So you're gonna take a Google Doc. This is what I did. I opened up a Google Doc and I titled it, what did I title it? Oh, you know that song on TikTok where it's like, now I say goodbye to the old me, it's already gone. So I titled that document Say Goodbye to the Old Me, and I brain dumped everything that I fucking hated about my life. I brain dumped all the habits that I had that I didn't want. I brain dumped all of the relationship experiences that I didn't want. I brainstormed where I was unhappy in my career, where I was unfulfilled in my relationships, what behaviors that I did that I didn't want. Literally everything that you're worried about, everything that you're stressed about, or like you don't like about your life, brain dump it all into this one document. Because this is also going to help with the level of self-awareness, because once you start like consciously noticing your thoughts, which you can also do this through meditation. I think that's what I meant to say earlier. You want to develop a meditation practice on a daily, because that is the ultimate key to really becoming self-aware, because you have monkey mind. Even I do. Like, I am not a trained guru. I still have monkey mind. My mind will go off in tangents. Sometimes I cannot shut up. And so just meditation has really helped me ground myself into my body and help with self-awareness. So you want to make sure that you get this Google Doc and you're writing down quite literally everything that you hate about your life, everything that you don't want to experience, everything that's making you unhappy, where you're at right now in life, all of it. This page was like, this Google Doc was like 13, 14 pages. I seriously took my time with this. You don't have to rush it. You don't have to do this all in a day. This is usually a gradual process. And this Google Doc took me like a week or two to really just sit down, put my time, energy, and effort into this. And you're also going to do some shadow work during this time as well. So while you're like self-evaluating and while you're discovering all of these thoughts, you don't want to just sit in it. You want to actually reflect and journal through it. This is why you will always need a journal. I have like 6 or 7 journals that I go through, because it has become such a crucial aspect in my life. I will never give up journaling. I love it. And even when you like fill up your journals, you can like make it a thing to like pass it on to the next generation. And that's what I want to do. So I've made it like a mission of mine to start journaling more, and more and more, because I've already been doing it for the past couple years. But it really helps you build a better relationship with yourself, and to not rely on people so much for external validation, or for them to like, I was always that oversharer because of so much trauma that I've had. So I would like meet someone and I would like trauma dump my whole entire life to them, and I would just like overshare to the max. But now I don't do that, because I feel like I'm coming to a place where I trust myself. I understand that like no matter what happens, I'm always gonna have me. I always got me. And every time I have a bad day, I can self-regulate, I can journal, I can work through my patterns, work through my limiting beliefs. And you can also get a therapist to help you work through this if some things are tough or it's difficult to handle. It's really good to talk this out with a trusted person or a trusted therapist. So journaling, you want to get some shadow work journal prompts, especially if you're trying to manifest money. You really want to figure out what money blockages you have, what thoughts you have about money, and understand that everything is a relationship. So you have a relationship with everything, even with your bed. Like, your relationship with your bed is, I come home, I go to sleep, this is my bed, this is where I get some good rest. Everything you have a relationship with, because everything is you. And so if you're having trouble manifesting money, then it's because somewhere along the line you don't trust money because you don't trust yourself. Like, however you feel about money is however money feels about you. So if you're saying money is the root of all evil, and you have, like, you're thinking on a daily basis, I'm broke, I can't afford this, I don't have enough, or you're blaming the fact that you don't have enough money on external circumstances such as the government or wages or pay or anything like that, you're again a victim to your circumstances, and you're not taking power and control over your life, because ultimately you are the creator. You are the reason why you're in that dead-end job that you hate. You're the reason why you're not making enough money, and it's not your fault because you went through programming and you maybe grew up experiencing poverty in situations that were unfortunate, but at the end of the day, that doesn't make you any less of a creator of your reality. So I have a whole bunch of Pinterest journal prompts. I will link that down below. I have journal prompts for literally everything, like money, becoming the highest version of yourself, attracting your dream life. All of my journal prompts are going to be linked down below. So if you are trying to manifest a specific thing, I promise you in Pinterest, I have something for it. I had to take a water break. I've been talking for 40 minutes straight now. Whew. This is why I have a podcast. I hope all of this is really clear and concise for you guys. I hope that's why I keep going off into tangents, because I want to be as thorough as possible, because I want you to really understand. It doesn't matter what your circumstances look like. You could be homeless on the street right now and manifest $1 million the next day. Yes, it is that possible. A lot of people do not understand that source lives within them. The reason why you're having trouble manifesting anything or attracting the dream life is because you think that you have to do something in order to get it. That's the thing. That's why I don't suggest any manifestation methods other than journaling, other than doing actions and habits that align you with what you want, because that's all that is required of you, really. That's all manifestation is just having that unshakable faith that you are worthy and you are deserving of the life that you want to live, because you're human, because you're having this human experience as a spiritual being. Just because of that fact, you deserve everything. Just because you are God and that you have God within you, you deserve whatever you want. And it's possible for you to have everything that you want if you can perceive it to be that way. So that's what I want you to realize, and that's why I want to be as thorough as possible and kind of going through the the steps, covering it all, because it doesn't matter what you're experiencing right now. You could be at one of your lowest points in life and then come out of it a millionaire. Like, seriously. That is how much creative power and potential that you have within you. And as soon as you start believing that, and as soon as you really start feeling that truth within you, like unshakable faith, and that's the difference between belief and faith as well. Belief is the fact that you don't really know for sure, but you believe it to be true. But faith is knowing. Faith is the inner knowing that something exists or something is true. So you want to have that inner knowing in your own power, in your own self. You are that powerful, and you can manifest whatever you want. So once you've done the whole self-awareness process, you've kind of written down everything that you don't want to experience in life, and you've done the shadow work to trace back its roots, which is this whole process, I will mention again, is a lifelong journey. You're going to be constantly doing this all of the time, not just to manifest something. But after you have done that and you've gauged where you're at vibrationally and what you don't want to experience, you're going to start to build a new character. And this is the fun part. This is where you're going to go on a separate Google Doc and you're going to build a complete alter ego, separate from the person that you are now, separate from the life that you're living now. So you're going to go in this Google Doc and you're going to take each category of life. So finances, career, relationships, lifestyle, habits, beliefs. You're going to get extremely specific. And this is also what you want to answer in the Google Doc of your old self or your old identity. You want to make sure that you pinpoint every single area of life and get very descriptive about what you don't want in those categories. And then on the flip side of that, you're going to get extremely descriptive in this Google Doc about who you want to be. What do you want from life? If nothing was off limits, if everything was available to you, what would you experience? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to meet your significant other? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to, I don't know, like be on a yacht somewhere? Do you want to have $1 million? Do you want to have a business? Like anything that you want out of life, begin to write this down. Everything that you want out of each category, you want to be extremely descriptive and write this as you're like as if you're already experiencing it. So, for example, like let's say in your relationships, you write down for the old version of you, I am codependent. I don't really have good relationships. It seems like every relationship that I get into, it's always like something. On this separate document, you're going to write out, my relationships are healthy and fulfilling. Like I love the partner that I'm with. Like we're very compatible. So you're just going to flip it. You're going to write something completely different. And then you're also going to write down what the type of person is like that has that thing. So if you're codependent, you probably have like an anxious attachment style. You probably need to be up your partner's ass 24/7, because I know I did. You're probably very insecure about yourself. Like you're just kind of the person that relies on external validation. So that's why you're codependent. And so on the flip side of that, a person who has a healthy relationship has secure attachment styles. They don't rely on anyone for external validation. They're okay with being alone. They're self-confident. So like, you see what I'm going here? Like the things that you don't want, you're going to flip it and turn it into something that you do want, and you're going to create a person that aligns with that. And you really get into the feeling of the thing too, because the feelings are like the most important part. When you're writing this down, you want to get into the feeling of being that person, even if you don't know what feelings are associated with that identity or with the lifestyle that you want. You can seriously go into ChatGPT and be like, what feelings are associated with having the perfect partner or having my dream lifestyle? And it will give you like feelings of joy, gratitude, happiness. You really want to be on that vibrational chart like I showed you before. You really want to be up there in the gratitude, the joy, and the happiness, and you want to maintain that emotional state. That person that you're creating has all of those high vibrational emotions, and that is what is going to attract your dream life. That is the state that you need to be in, and this is why you're building this new character completely opposite from the life that you're experiencing and the person that you are now. Because the reason why you do this is because now that you are self-aware about where you're at, now that you have everything that you don't want, you no longer have an excuse to go towards what you don't want, because now you're completely aware of where you're at. You're completely aware of the things that you're doing. So when a person comes up to you and maybe they're not resonating with where you want to go or where you want to be in life, you can be like, this doesn't really resonate with the new version of me. This doesn't resonate with who I'm becoming. And so you cut that person off. Or maybe you're in a certain situation and before the old version of you would have lashed out or reacted a certain way. And so you can become aware of that and be like, oh, like this is something that the old version of me would do. And so now you're able to shift that into something that you want to experience. And like the same goes for like these thought patterns that you have. Whenever you notice it coming up, you're then going to be able to shift it towards a positive affirmation. This is a continuous practice, you guys. Like you are going to have to method act. And this is like the next step into like after you finished developing your new character, you are going to start method acting. And method acting is something that actors do to fully get into the character, into the role that they're playing. So they play this character on and off set. Jenny Ortega, who played Wednesday, she was Wednesday on and off set, I believe. And also, who else did this? The Joker was the Joker on and off set. And I know that the Joker had to seek therapy because he couldn't distinguish between his real personality and the personality of the Joker. Now, this is harmful for some actors because depending on the role that you're playing, you're like, I don't want to become this evil villain. But that just goes to show you that pretending to be somebody long enough, your brain, it actually tricks your brain into thinking that you are that person and that you have that lifestyle or certain beliefs and characteristics of this person. That is how your mind works. Your mind is a tool for creation. Your mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is not. So in order to trick your brain into thinking that you are this new person that is aligned with your dream reality, you need to start method acting. That is when you take everything that you wrote from that document, everything that you wrote down about what you wanted to experience from life, and you start becoming the person on and off the set of your life. This is your movie. You're starring in it. You decided, you know what? I don't want to be this person anymore. You had a character development and now you're a brand new person and you're experiencing a completely new life. So when you wake up, you're no longer the person that you used to be. You're the person that you just created. So what habits do you have? What thoughts do you have? What feelings do you have on a day-to-day basis? How do you talk to people? How do you move throughout life? How do you encounter situations? How do you deal with circumstances? All of this you need to keep in your mind when you're moving throughout your day. So like, what does your routine look like? After you have created your alter identity, your alter ego, you can even go in ChatGPT and be like, create a personalized routine for me based off of these characteristics, based off of the person that I want to have. And now, boom, you have a whole entire routine for you based off of the person that you want to become. So there should be no excuses as to why you're not manifesting the life of your dreams. And I do want to let you know that you're going to need consistency, you're going to need discipline, you're going to need faith, and you're going to need patience. Because this is not going to happen overnight. This is not an overnight process. If you were looking for a quick fix, this is not the video for you. So sorry. But this requires a lot of consistency. Consistency equals results. If you want anything, that includes going to the gym, that includes meeting new people. It takes time and it takes consistency. You need to build a rapport with yourself. Every time you say you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're losing the trust with yourself. You're proving to yourself that you cannot stick to your word. But I guarantee you, if somebody else came to you and was like, hey, I want you to do this for me, you would be head over heels for it. Like, you would be the first person jumping to do that thing. So that's how you need to be for yourself. You need to be able to follow through on your word and you need to be able to be consistent. Sorry, y'all, my voice is quite literally giving out. But yeah, consistency is the most important part. And so this process is a continuous process. Like I said, you're always going to be growing and evolving into a new person. You're always going to be shifting and changing. So this is tools that you can literally use forever. This is something that you want to be utilizing forever. So I'm just going to go through like the whole timeline of things before I get into the last step, because that is all about building your community and surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, because your environment is also a huge indicator of your personality. The first step was self-awareness. So you want to carry around a journal with you everywhere that you go and start identifying limiting beliefs that trigger intense feelings. And then you're also going to want to develop a meditation practice so you can get more in control of your thoughts. And then you're also going to do a self-evaluation. So you're going to write down everything that you don't like about your life in each and every single category. And you're also going to do some shadow work in order to really dig deep and get into the limiting beliefs that you identified in the first step. And then after that, you are going to build a new identity. So you're going to take everything that you wrote down, everything that you didn't want to experience, and now you are going to create a personal alter ego identity that is completely opposite from the experience that you're having or the personality that you currently have. And then the last step, before I get into the actual last step, and the last thing that you want to do is method acting. So you want to be playing the role of the character that you created on and off the set of your life. So no matter what happens, no matter what situation you're in, or no matter what your 3D reality is showing you, you're going to be method acting this character. You're going to be playing the role of the individual that you created. And now for the last and final step, you want to build your community. So environment is extremely important because you are who you surround yourself with. So if you are a recovering alcoholic, you're not going to go spend time with your alcoholic friends. You're going to go spend time with your sober friends. So if you're trying to be wealthy, you're not going to go spend time with people who do not want to grow and who are in a impoverished lack mindset. Not saying that you should judge these people in any way, not saying that you're better than these people. It's just purely association. You know how someone commits a crime and you're guilty by association? That's exactly what it is when it's like when you're trying to manifest your dream life. Like if you're around someone who is always gossiping, they're always about drama, and they're just really negative, and you're spending a lot of time with that person, you're guilty by association. Something within you is attracting that person. Something within you is attracted to that. And so therefore that's going to trickle down into your experiences and hinder your growth and hinder your manifestations. So you need to be really selective about who you're spending time with and what type of personality that this person has. Even if they're not where you want to be, even if they're not like some millionaire, or even if they're not even wealthy, they just have to be committed and dedicated to growth. Like if you're sitting here manifesting your dream life and you're talking about the person that you want to become, and the friends that you're surrounding yourself with are like, girl, okay, like good luck with that. The fuck? Like you're better off alone, because you don't need that around you. You need to be laser focused on your vision. You need to have a burning passion and a burning desire for the life that you want to live, that you cut out any shit that does not align with that. And that's something that I had to realize like just recently. Even though the people that I love, the people that I consider close friends and family, I adore them and I cherish them and I love them, I need to love them from a distance, because their mentality does not align with my mentality, and me spending time around them is causing me to doubt myself, because they're not in the same mentality or the growth mindset that I am. They don't have the vision for my life, and they're not in a place where they can support me in that. So therefore, you don't need to cut these people off. Like I'm not saying you need to cut everybody off and throw people away, although sometimes some people do need to be cut off, but I'm not saying you have to distance yourself and isolate yourself from literally everybody. I'm just saying you need to be extremely cautious with who you're spending time with, because your time is your most valuable asset. So you want to be spending time on things that are going to be contributing to the life that you want to live. And this is like where the method acting really comes into play. Would the version of you that you just created be spending time with these people? And if not, cut them loose. Sorry. And the community that you really want to build is online. That has really helped me, because it can feel very isolating when you're trying to become a new identity, when you're trying to manifest a specific thing and people around you aren't really supportive of that, or maybe they can't see the vision, or they don't believe in you, or they're just kind of not encouraging. Online community is the best thing ever. I will link down some people that I consider to be mentors, because it has really helped me in developing more faith in myself on my journey. Every time I feel low, every time I feel like, oh, well, maybe this isn't working, or I start doubting myself, I of course like take notice of it and I reflect on it, but I also go towards a community that believes the same things that I do. That like whenever my faith is low, whenever my faith is wavering, I can go to these people and they're like, girl, no, you can do this. You are the creator of your reality. Because sometimes even I get into those moments where I'm like, am I delusional? Like, yes, you're delusional. Yes, this is delusional 101. You need to be delusional. Yes, you are delusional, but that is okay, because that is required of you. You have to be delusional, so you need to surround yourself with a community that is just as delusional in the best way. And also, welcome to the community. Like, you are in my community. If you're watching this video, especially if you watch this hour-long ass video, you're in my community. Welcome to the Divine Tribe. I'm so happy to have you here. You are not alone. You're not crazy for wanting things. You're not crazy for dreaming big. You're not crazy for not feeding into the matrix or the illusions. You don't have to work a 9-to-5. You don't have to follow the life that society prescribes to you, okay? Like, hello, welcome, hi, glad to have you here. Please connect with me. Like, I can be part of your community. I want to be part of your community, because this is my purpose and this is what I want to do. I genuinely want to serve those who feel like they are lost, who feel like maybe they haven't had the greatest advantages in life, or maybe have been just like in shitty circumstances. I want to build you up. I want to build up the lower income, like homeless population. I feel like if we really come together and build that community up, but teaching them the knowledge and the resources to attract and build their dream lives, we would be so much more powerful. There wouldn't be a homeless population, there wouldn't be a low income population, we wouldn't have such a divide between the rich and the poor. We could all come together as a community because we all understand that we are extremely powerful, and there's nothing that if anybody else can have that you can't have. And so if that resonates with you, welcome to the community. I want to build you up. I want to make sure that you're stepping into your power. The very last thing, I want to get into a couple questions that people left under my TikTok videos. I just want to address them so that way you are extremely clear on everything that I just said, and you know how to be completely delusional when you are manifesting your desired reality. So someone said, how long does this take? However long you want it to. Time is just an illusion. When you're manifesting something, you don't need to worry about time. You just need to worry about getting into alignment and maintaining the state of the wish fulfilled. So the longer you can be in the state of happiness or joy and be on that high vibration, the more likely you're able to attract things. Like, it could happen in a day, it could happen next week. It's just really the feeling and the faith behind what you're manifesting or what you're trying to bring into your reality. And as soon as you have that conviction, as soon as your mind accepts that is true, that's when it will appear in your reality. So time is really up to you. And what do you do when fear and doubt pop up? Sit with it. Sit with it. Observe it. Get curious about it. Don't judge yourself or shame yourself for feeling a certain way. These emotions are actually really important, and they can be utilized for tools of for your growth if you allow it to do so. So when you're feeling really uncomfortable, just take a moment. If you're somewhere where you can't sit down and do some deep breathing, then really just notice it and reflect on it later. But if you have the time and you have the space, sit down with yourself and ask yourself what's going on? Where is this fear coming from? You really want to be able to self-regulate, self-soothe, do some deep breathing and fully embody the emotion instead of suppressing it. Allow it to come in and say, thank you. Thank you for showing me where I'm at on a vibrational level. Thank you for showing me what I need to work on. Accept the emotion, and you'll be surprised as soon as you sit with it and as soon as you accept it, that's when it goes away, because it's I did my job. I did my purpose. That's what I'm here for. Fear is here to teach you. Fear is hey, you're not in alignment. Hey, there's something here that is unauthentic. Emotions, negative emotions, perceived negative emotions are actually really good. They're just really uncomfortable, and they're meant to be that way because we're not supposed to be, that's not where growth is. Growth is not supposed to be in our comfort zone. So when these uncomfortable emotions pop up, you need to have the courage to sit with it, reflect on it, work through it, breathe through it, so you can move through it and shift it to something else. When I say shifting, I don't mean like I said, avoiding the emotion. Of course, you want to sit with it, allow it to flow through you, and then change it to something else. So once you sit with the emotion, you kind of understand where it's coming from, then you're going to shift your perspective back to the dream reality, back to the person that you are, or back to the state that you wish to fulfill. That makes sense. The last question is, how do I manifest when I'm in a rough situation? So exactly what I said, follow through this whole process. You can do this anywhere. That's the thing. Nowhere in this video did I say you need to go buy this course, you need to go buy this thing. You don't need to do anything. You just need yourself. That's it. Any situation that you're in, I guarantee you can follow through on any of these steps. At the library, there's a piece of paper, there's pens, there's books, there's free resources everywhere. Everything that I just mentioned in this video, you can do regardless of your situation. So you want to go throughout this process, and you want to do it for a continuous basis, and you want to be able to just maintain the state of the wish fulfilled. That is what is the most important. All you need to manifest, all you need to be delusional is yourself. Thank you guys for watching this video to the very end. I am so appreciative of you if you made it this far. And again, if you enjoyed this video or if you like content like this, make sure to comment, and subscribe, and let me know. Let me know if this was an easy an easy concept to grasp for you guys, or if you have any more questions. Let me know if you had any success stories with manifestation, or any cool things that you want me to know about you in your life. We're a community now, so share anything that you feel free to share. Please utilize me as a resource, because I am always here for you guys, and I will see you next week.